Oh, no, it's the same. Wow.
So our first public performance was at Lisa Stengel's house, but then this was actually our first. That was a party. Then this is our first gig.
This was the first gig first reviewed gig.
Our pinnacle of our career as a tourist was at the infamous Black Flag gig. They'd had like this jazz series in the summertime, free concerts in the park.
It still goes on.
It was supposed to be an innocent picnic type Sunday, family type thing in Manhattan Beach, California. And Black Flag lied, like Greg or somebody lied and said, we're a Grateful Dead cover band, or we're like Air Supply or something.
Didn't Black Flag use like a Wet Willie tape or something to get the show, saying that was the...
Who's Wet Willie? I don't know.
Just some
70s man. So yeah, okay, so that's part of that legend. Black Flag misrepresented themselves with a Wet Willie tape to the board of directors or whatever at the Manhattan Beach Park System.
Said they were like a Fleetwood Mac cover band or something like that.
They said. Yeah, but Black Flag had invited us to play this gig, and we were still called the Tourists at the time. I like to think it was sort of a bartering system, like we had gotten them the gig at Lisa Stengel's, and they returned the favor by getting us the gig at Polliwog Park.
At the time there were just like less than a dozen people into punk rock, I would say, like in our age group in this whole South Bay. So it was, it was like a couple dozen punk rockers and a couple hundred, upright citizens.
When there were a few other bands like from Orange County, the Middle Class came out, or at least Mike Atta came to the show, remember? And like we were big fans of all these bands. So if like someone from Middle Class showed up, that would seem crazy to me in South Bay. And I remember he was there, and then the band adding the Subtitles played. They were a band that they would gig locally. And then, but we were the opening. Was it 4 bands or only 3 bands?
4. It was a band called Big Wow.
Oh, Big Wow.
Kind of a new wave band, right?
Yeah.
Big Wow.
We don't know what happened with Big Wow.
It was a very scary gig for me, being up front singing.
Oh, okay.
To like, normal people, kind of people that look like our neighbors.
So we played. I think Steven, we put green food coloring in his hair that day.
I did.
Did I? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's too bad that the one picture that remains is in black and white. Because I had green hair, but it was food coloring, which is a real poser move.
So yeah, we made it through that show unscathed. We were harmless. The audience realized they're just kids. Even though some of the songs, were pretty fast and intense, but short, and we weren't offensive to anyone.
We weren't angry.
Yeah, we weren't angry.
For the tourists, it was like, oh, look at the kid.
Yeah.
And look at the kids, And that's when we met them. Basically.
Yeah, and they truly were, or at least appeared to be born innocent at that time. So, really, they were, they're pretty cute little kids from Hawthorne and stuff like that, not terribly threatening.
I didn't pay attention to any of the opening bands. I didn't pay attention to the Tourists, who I might have heard a couple of their songs because I was passed out under this car.
And then when Black Flag hit the stage, then it became a full-blown riot.
Okay, well, we're going to hear more of Black Flag. If everybody stops throwing things around inside this theater.
People were going boo and throwing food.
It was like Armageddon with like sandwiches and stuff, like just flying sandwiches. And I remember seeing half a watermelon just go flying down the hill.
Chicken and bottles.
Like maybe even tomatoes, because that classic thing about people, performers getting pegged with tomatoes, and you always wonder, how did they get the tomatoes into the venue? But they had them.
People were picnicking in the park.
Yeah, I remember Chuck distinctly, the bass player Chuck Tukowski, reaching down and picking up a sandwich while he's playing the bass and starting to eat the sandwich.
Robo had a watermelon on his head.
Yeah, I remember like watermelon flying. And I think the audience actually had fun, but it was shut down.
Well, there was a famous picture of me and Ron at that Polliwog Park, infamous Polliwog Park gig. Someone had put a bunch of beer in the front. I think it was, Keith was out of beer, so somebody dumped a bunch of beer in the front, and me and him being, oh, look, beer. And it was like the Three Stooges or something. We died for the beer, we're on the ground, and Keith is singing. That's the only picture.
Yeah.
where the first 3 singers of Black Flag are in the same picture.
Yeah, this is cool. I think we should play her again.